Hi, this is Lori Ballou, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I have brought to you this presentation of Slender Forever. So let's get started with that. This is what I am calling your lifestyle without sugar, and it's to optimize weight loss naturally. And it's the process that I've been doing for myself and practicing epigenetics and reversing my obesity. And it's the only way to do that is to create a lifestyle without sugar. And I call this aging beautifully and adventurously for pain-free living because that's what I've been doing for myself. In this picture, I am holding a pistachio loaf that is just amazing to die for with just pistachio flour and coconut flour and some keto cookies there. There's so many things that we can do if we crave sweet, which we do as a species. All we've got to do is find something else that we could eat that's going to make us feel comfortable till we get to the point where we could turn off our cravings naturally and live and create a lifestyle without sugar. And it's easier than you realize. But let's get into this and dive into this, and I'll give you as much information as I can as we go through this for my journey and what you can do for yourself so that you can have health as your wealth and live a lifestyle without sugar. And this picture of me is when I was last year when I turned 60, and this was a photo shoot that I treated myself to. And I had such an amazing day. It was almost like I was a mermaid getting dressed and going to the beach and just having an amazing time because I felt so beautiful in my body. I felt like I really became successful at a lifetime of trying to reverse obesity and to figure out how to lose the weight. Turn off the cravings because if you cannot get rid of the cravings, you cannot reverse obesity and you will just have disease in your body. And so I didn't know I was fighting to have a disease-free body. What I did know was that I was overweight, didn't feel good, and that I needed to lose the weight, and that's what I wanted to. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. And so when the solution came to me, I jumped into that and I never turned back. But here's some questions that I'm going to ask you. What do you want in the year to come for 2024? What do you want to create for yourself so that you can have health, wealth, or money, a new or more loving relationship, health, freedom, and longevity? Health, you thinking about retirement and freedom that you can be active and be able to take a vacation and have the health that you want. What is a vacation that you would want to go on? How will you get any of these things if you don't feel good in your body, if you don't have energy, if you feel sluggish? Your health and weight loss is to be free of pain. Reverse aging is the foundation to getting everything else you want in life. And to get that weight loss and that health, that's what I'm here to talk to you more about today so that you can get this lifestyle without sugar dialed in to get all of these things that you want. Here we go. So, low carb lifestyle, let's turn that on and use it as a tool. Health is your wealth. What do you want to create with your health for 2024? Weight gain is a symptom of being sick. And so, if you have weight gain, what can you do to turn off weight gain? How can you lose the weight? We want to reclaim our health. And it's not a luxury, but it's a need because if you don't realize that all the sugar that you're eating, you don't have to wait for a diagnosis to come in to think that you need to change your diet, and it's not just about the weight. The weight is a symptom of being sick. And how can we correct not being sick so we can lose the weight, reclaim our health? And this is a long-term, sustainable weight loss and pain-free living that you want to focus on for the longevity and reversing chronic conditions. And you don't want to look at this as something that you have to change everything right away. But one of the things that we can do right off the bat is to reduce the sugar in our diet so that we can start reversing chronic health conditions and get our life back. And then all of a sudden, you're going to get natural weight loss because that's going to be the result. It might take longer and it's slow sometimes because you got to heal first. You have to get your body reset and your metabolism reset for that easeful living that you want to have. That has to take place first and foremost for you to get the natural weight loss, but it will happen. And because I lost 100 pounds, that is why I'm so passionate about living a sugar-free lifestyle because I could gain it all back again. And I have in the past. I probably lost more than 100 pounds. I probably lost over 200 pounds, maybe 300 pounds, but I've always gained it back because I didn't take sugar out of my diet. So a sugar-free lifestyle for my journey to reclaim my health is what I have been doing and what I'm also going to tell you more about what how you can do. So this is about empowering you and educating you on this journey so you can choose to dial in whatever lifestyle that you want to create where you are and what you need to do. You may have more problems than others and maybe you just have obesity. Just depends on where you're at. But let's talk about one of the major pieces of weight loss and reverse aging. So sugar, there it is. Do you like sugar? Who doesn't? It tastes good, makes you feel good, gives you a dopamine hit. When we're feeling tired, we want it. We think it's going to give us energy, but it gives us energy crashes right after that energy. It might give you a serotonin boost, but then you're going to feel miserable as it starts to make you feel sick. But what it's doing inside your body is it's creating a risk for cancer, prediabetes and diabetes and neuropathy, arthritis. It's keeping you up at night and creating insomnia, especially if you have pain, candida, the yeast, the inflammation. That's what sugar does. And it causes all the other diseases in your body as well. So, sugar turns on your hormone insulin. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. We are designed to store fat in times of plenty to help against famine. Think of fruit and honey in the summer. It's always there and ready to eat because that's when it's in season to help fatten up mammals for the winter so that we have more fat to help us survive the winter when there was less food available. So we are designed to go into a ketogenic state to burn fat when insulin is turned off, when food wasn't available. So that's our natural strategy for our ancestral survival. It's a survival mechanism and an ancestral tool. We want to use keto as a tool, as a weight loss hack. And it's also going to help us turn off the disease causing genes in our body, and we get to practice epigenetics, which is what I did to lose my 100 pounds. When losing 100 pounds might seem hard, and yet it could be easy. And the biggest challenge of all is keeping that 100 pounds off. And the way we do that, the way I am doing that, is living a lifestyle without sugar. I am keeping my insulin levels turned off. I eat very minimal fruit, if any at all, because I don't really like eating a lot. It turns my insulin levels back on and I crave more. I don't like that feeling because it makes me feel out of control and it causes me to gain weight, and I don't want to do that. And so I don't really we carbohydrates are non-essential. Now the carbohydrates might help feed and nourish our gut bacteria, so we want to look at them and fiber as that. So fermented vegetables, leafy green vegetables, detoxifying vegetables, celery for potassium, parsley, the nutrients. Look at food as medicine to help our body detoxify and to get the antioxidants from it that we might need. But overall, what our bodies need are fat and protein. And when we eat more fat and protein, even if you just take chicken skin and crisp it up in the oven and put salt on it, when you eat that, you turn off your cravings for other food. And when you eat the right amount of protein, you will reverse your insulin resistance, and you will support your appetite by lessening leptin resistance and reversing insulin resistance and working on your leptin to make sure that your appetite is working right. And so that's part of the process. So eat fat and protein. That's the weight loss hack. And we want to get 30 grams of protein per serving to actually build muscle for longevity. Because if you're like me and you're over 50, I'm 61 now, I'm gaining muscle, but I also am always aware what I need and what I eat needs to add up to 30 grams of protein, and so that I can build muscle. And that's the whole goal there, to work as having longevity and not having sarcopenia when we are in our 60s and older. So this was me back 25 years ago when I was still a sugar burner and still struggling with losing weight and not being able to lose weight. Pretty much stuck. I might lose a little and gain it all back. I might lose a lot and gain it all back. And I was on that blood sugar. I was on the weight gain roller coaster ride. It was horrifying and it was always depressing. And it was made me feel like I had no control over my body. And the problem is when we're sugar burner and there's blood, we are burning glucose in our blood from processed food with sugar and refined carbohydrates, which digest quickly, raising insulin levels. This causes you to crave more carbs and crash. And when you feel tired, And then you crave more sugar once again, and you eat more and you get fatigued and you feel hungry. And then you might get anxiety and depression and you just feel more and more exhausted. So really eating sugar doesn't make you feel better. It can make you feel fatigued and more hungry and just make you feel miserable. And if you can't lose the weight when a sugar burner, as long as sugar is in the blood. Dr. Jason Fung states that diabetes is just too much sugar in the blood. A high carbohydrate diet leads to insulin resistance and pre-diabetes, as well as diabetes and Alzheimer's and all the other diseases in our body. So insulin resistance is the precursor to disease in our body. So the goal here is to be a fat burner. Stop putting glucose into our blood system so that it's not there causing a problem in the future. And that's just a simple way to look at it. If we don't put it in there, we only need tiny bit. And so we don't want it clogging up our blood, because you want to look at it like that. Here's another picture of me at about 200 pounds. Um, as a sugar burner, I still a sugar burner. Too many grains in the diet, which create the depression and the sadness in my body, and not being able to lose the weight, and trying to put on a pretty outfit and just feeling like I had nothing to wear, and always having to maybe get hand-me-downs or borrowing clothes. But it was not something I wanted to do, was to go to a store and buy any clothes, because I didn't feel pretty in them. And part of the problem too is if you are sensitive to wheat and you have food sensitivities, like I did, when I took a food sensitivities test a couple of years ago, I am red sensitive. That's the term I use because of my food sensitivity test. You have red, yellow, and green. Your green foods are safe to eat. Your yellow foods are foods that you are sensitive to that need to be minimized. And your red ones may be things that you should never eat again in the future. It just depends on whether or not your body can get back to the point where it can tolerate it. However, when you are red sensitive to wheat and dairy, and those are your sensitivities, as well as corn, that trifecta means that you will have more depression in your body, and you will probably have more problems with depression and anxiety, because they cause you to have less brain energy. And there is that brain body connection where, when your gut doesn't function from too much, from leaky gut, from wheat in the diet, from the problem with the dairy too, is when you are wheat sensitive, what happens is that the wheat can turn on your B memory antigen cell memory cells, and that is an inflammatory response in your body. So if you have that process happening in your body, and everybody reacts to wheat, whether they realize it or not, you will have some kind of reaction in your body. It may not be the brain, it may be somewhere else in your body, it may just be causing you pain somewhere in your body, but it will cause a leaky gut and eventually lead to an autoimmunity issue because of leaky gut. And so too many grains in the diet is going to create the insulin resistance, depression, and brain dysfunction, per Dr. Chris Palmer. He's a Harvard clinical psychologist. And for over the last 25 years, he has been using the keto diet to help reverse insulin resistance in the brains of his patients for less brain disease, with amazing outcomes for his patients as well as for himself. And that's what helped me turn my brain back on. When I took out the grains out of my diet and took out all the sugar, I got my brain back. It saved my life. I got passionate about life again, and I can actually turn around and study functional nutrition and get excited about life again, and be here for you guys today so that you can find out what it is you need to do to get your health back. And so I felt better than ever once I was able to get this process to work for me. And I've got a client that I was working on who just recently got everything all dialed in, amazing bowel movements, her supplements all dialed in, feel great. She goes, "Oh my God, I feel better than I have ever felt." I am super excited when I hear my clients say that. And when they say, "I don't ever want to eat that crap again," I'm thinking, yes, win. They've got this. And that just lights me up and makes me excited. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to present this presentation, and to give you guys information to help you create more of a lifestyle without so much sugar in your diet, and to realize too that all the grains, all those processed carbohydrates, turn to sugar in your body, into that blood glucose, which is the precursor to insulin resistance and disease in your body, leading to the depression, the anger, anything that's happening in your body. This is why it's happening, because we are just being crushed with too much blood sugar in our body. Here's another picture of me at the same cruise that I was in the last one. I borrowed this dress, or, it was used, wanted to feel pretty in my body. I loved my necklace, and had a great, amazing time for the most part. But oh my gosh, I just hate looking back at the pictures, but you know what? I've come a long way. I've lost the 100 pounds. I look back and I see somebody who was so sad. And again, that lights up my passion to help people now, to help you understand what sugar could be doing to your body, and at least to minimize it so that you can reduce the cancer risk in your body, to to work on reducing the symptoms of inflammation in your body so that you don't have to have a disease causing problem. And the problem is, when you are a sugar burner, as opposed to being on a keto diet or low carb diet where you're a fat burner, you're also creating inflammation, which manifests as pain in the body, sinus infections, which is what I had, gut infections. People end up with bacterial infections in the gut, parasites. You could end up with leaky gut. Most everybody has leaky gut who's on the American diet eating wheat. That's just what it does. It increases zonulin, which is a protein in the intestines that open up and cause your gut to leak. There's candida, yeast overgrowth, fungal overgrowths, small bacterial overgrowth. And this all leads to brain fog as well as aches and pains. And you could even have carpal tunnel syndrome, sciatica. Those are all things that sugar causes. It crushes your nervous system and causes pain in the body. So all carbs turn to glucose in the body, raising insulin, which is happening all day long. Your body is going to be overwhelmed trying to stuff all that sugar into your fat cells continuously. That's why, as long as there is sugar in your blood, you cannot really burn your body fat. It is either sugar being stored, or there's the lack of sugar where your body has to dip into your fat cells and actually help you burn the fat. And so that's the process of becoming a lifestyle without sugar, is to turn your body into a fat burner so that you can burn the body fat and get your health back on track. So your health can become a struggle of looking for a solution to feel better and lose weight. And so this could be a solution for you. I personally could not get off the weight gain roller coaster ride while I had any sugar. And that included honey. And that even included fruit. As long as I was nibbling and eating fruit, I could not get rid of my insulin resistance and get my eyes to work again. And my hair was thinning back when in my early 50s. And so this is real. This is, people will say, I eat healthy. When I hear that term, I'd like to know exactly what people are eating, because what healthy means to one person may not be what healthy means to the body, because there's a lot of misinformation out there as to what we should eat to be healthy for our body. Being healthy is turning the pain off in your body and not having any disease in your body and not having insulin resistance. It's getting your body healthy to lose the weight again. So here I am living as a sugar-free lifestyle, as a fat burner, feeling beautiful in my body for the very first time. And I call this aging beautifully, because at 61 or at 60 years old last year, I had lost the last 30 pounds over the last couple of years, down 100 pounds, but I lost 60 pounds in my 50s. A lot of people will say that is just getting older, that we're just aging. Part of the problem is when we lose estrogen, we become we become more insulin resistant. When we are insulin resistant, part of the problem is that we are going to store more fat on our body, especially in our bellies, but we're also going to increase our visceral fat around our face and our neck and in our muscles. And you got to remember, your heart is a muscle too. So when you're out eating protein, you don't want to get the proteins that are marbled, the standard American um, meat that is fed corn and soy is highly marbled, and these animals are not healthy. The food that we want to eat is free range, grass fed, 100% pasture raised animal food that is leaner and not marbled, because marbled animal meat is an insulin resistant animal and they're not any healthier than we are. So that's one of the problems with eating meat. We want to eat healthy meat for our body. So if I could lose 100 pounds and lose 60 pounds in my 50s, you can too. That's what I do. I help guide my clients into losing the weight that they want to eat and reset their metabolism, help them turn off their pain. And I use 6 diagnostic labs to help them uncover their hidden healing opportunities and find those weight loss blocks. And we work together for 6 months to a year to accomplish this. So I'm going to talk at the end, I'm going to give you a couple of options for working with me if you're interested. But in the meanwhile, I like these statistics because they're very powerful if we think back to what to realize that sugar went around the earth faster than any substance on earth. And if you put sugar in a pile next to rats who are addicted to sugar and to cocaine, and there's a pile of each next to them, they will eat their sugar before they eat that cocaine because it's highly addictive, and that's what they would choose to eat first. So there has been a massive increase in sugar consumption. In the year 1700, the average individual consumed about 4 pounds of sugar each year. And in 1800, it was about 18 pounds of sugar per year. And I remember listening to her story where this one woman had, she was an aristocrat and she had migraines and lots of headaches and health conditions. And she died pretty early in her mid 40s, but she also had more access to sugar and ate sugar a lot. And so that was an interesting story that I had heard. And even in 1900, the average person might have eaten 90 pounds of sugar per year. And in 2018, the average individual consumed 150 pounds of sugar per year. Half of our society consumes 1/2 pound of sugar per day. Most of this is in unnatural, man made forms such as sucrose and high fructose corn syrup, and even coming from corn syrup as well as beet sugar. And then if you add in the grains on top of this, like the wheat and all the processed grains, you have a chronically sick population. Some of the statistics are out there that there's only 12% of healthy people. 88% of people are unhealthy. And there's another study that's showing that in the standard Western society versus, say, a society in Japan, where if you're healthy, you might only have an 8-year age gap for longevity. But if you're unhealthy eating the standard American diet, there's a 20-year gap in longevity or for health. And this means that people are dying in their 60s instead of living to their 80s. And that's a long time. And so when you've got weight gain, which is a symptom of being unhealthy, you can have headaches, migraines, pains, diabetes, and cancer. We want to turn this off by having less sugar consumption. So it's about getting back to eating like a human as we were designed for optimal health and natural weight loss. Here are some of the names for sugar. There's a lot more. I heard there's like well over 100. And the thing is, the food manufacturers have to put what's on their label, but they don't really want you to know how much sugar they're putting in things. So there are lots of hidden terms, and I didn't put them all down here. I think they even use the word caramel for a sweetener. It even could be non-fat milk can be a sweetener. Milk sugar can be a sweetener, but these are some of the hidden sugar names. And the goal of the food industry is to try to hide them as much as possible so they could say that there's less sugar in a product than there might really be. So sugar hides under so many different names. Here are the most common hidden sugars in our products. And there could be sucrose, things ending in ose, fructose, ending in ol, sorbitol. There could be brown rice syrup, concentrated fruit juice, orange juice, corn syrup, diglycerides, even apple juice is considered a sweetener, disaccharides, evaporated cane juice, coconut nectar, dextrose. Isomalt, maltodextrin is a hidden one that could be in your protein powder, so watch out for that one. Malted barley nectar, sucanat, maple syrup and honey, those are the easy ones. You got molasses too. Coconut sugar is hidden. That's also the same as coconut nectar. Date sweetened. I mean, if you were to take a date at home and just use the date without the seed inside it, that would be a better choice to lessen how much sugar is in your diet. But these are some of the sugars that you want to look out for to be aware of what you're eating. So the impact of sugar on the body are many. And what that's doing to your body is it's compression. It's crushing. That sugar is crushing your nervous system and it's damaging your nerves. That's the neuropathy that ends up with your feet down when you're diabetic. In the end, you're having nerve damage. But nerve damage is happening all over our body and we're not even aware of it. And that book by Dr. Richard P. Jacoby is pretty powerful, Sugar Crush. I've been listening to that again. So one of the reasons why it's uppermost in my mind right now is because it's so powerful and it's a real problem. I mean, There's been a doctor in Australia who is told he can't tell people how to eat right. He was hired to chop off their limbs, not to tell them what to eat so that he didn't have to chop off their limbs. And so that's a pretty sad thing when you're told that you can't give somebody diet advice and that you have to go ahead and chop off their limbs because you don't have the power to tell them what to eat. And so it's a pretty sad thing. But these are all the things that can lead to problems in their body with too much sugar. And that's, of course, everybody knows it can lead to weight gain, but, it's brain health. Dr. Chris Palmer has discovered that specifically, and more people are realizing that your brain is going to suffer. That's why they're calling Alzheimer's stage 3 diabetes, is because that's too much sugar in the brain, damaging your brain. It's going to give you sleepless nights and cause insomnia. Maybe you have too much pain and can't sleep. It's going to contribute to poor oral health because you've got gingivitis. Anytime you have problems in the mouth, that is a nerve damage situation. And it contributes to cardiovascular risk. So again, it can also harm the heart. One of the examples Dr. Richard Jacoby gives in his Sugar Crush book is about a woman who came in who claimed she has diabetes in her family, but she did not have diabetes. She was not yet there. She had not crossed that reference range, but she was eating as much sugar as she could because she knew she was going to have diabetes and that she'd have to stop eating sugar. Well, after she left his office, and 2 weeks later, they tried to um, check in with her, but she'd already died of a heart attack. And it's a real thing. Eating too much sugar is going to hurt your heart. And we need to be aware that that can cause a problem. It's also going to cause fatty liver because it's too much sugar in the liver. And if the brain access, the gut brain axis, it's going to cross the brain barrier and cause more problems with anxiety and depression. You're going to raise your risk for that type 2 diabetes, but you're going to have pre-diabetes before you get there. Don't wait to pop over that reference range. If you're overweight and with insulin resistance and you probably have pre-diabetes and you will be diabetic. That's just the way it works. And you will have nerve damage. So that you're going to aggravate all the pain in your body, and you're going to have a weakened immune system. You're going to increase your risk for cancer and cause chronic inflammation. Now, I had got a sore throat about a week ago, and I woke up about 11 o'clock in the evening and got out of bed and started taking my echinacea and my elderberry, my oregano, and one silver, whatever else I had. And I took that a few times throughout the night when I went back to bed. And by morning, my sore throat was very minimal. And then later that day, I had no sore throat. I never came down with a cold. I have a very strong immune system in that regard, but I also know what to do to take. And so when you get that information, you can be really empowered to correct your health and not let yourself get sick. So sugar and inflammation. We want to turn all of this off. We want to flip the switch. I call it flipping your sugar switch to stop being a sugar burner so that you could be a fat burner. And this is also where you can correct your health and not have to put up with brain dysfunction and disease in your body. So this one for brain, sugar in the diet can lead to brain dysfunction and increased depression by 58%. On your skin, sugar causes glycation and ages skin, causing more acne and wrinkles. You can sometimes you can see. I specifically can notice when someone like a woman might be very thin and frail, and she'll be kind of a little brown and oxidated, and I can kind of see that they've been eating a low calorie diet and maybe not getting enough calories, not getting enough fat to protect their body, and maybe living on too many carbohydrates. And you will look more brown and oxidized and more wrinkled. That is something that I can really notice. And I listened to a podcast recently that was talking about the low calorie, low protein, high carbohydrate diet. And then this woman um, got first, she came down with rheumatoid arthritis. Then she came down with Parkinson's disease. And then not too long after that, and she was in her 50s or 60s, she came down with a stroke and ended up in the hospital and nearly died from MRSA. And so she was super sick, and she wasn't very, when she got out of the hospital and tried to get some healing done, she was actually just could barely walk 10 steps. And so what she did was she used to be slender. She wanted to be slender again. She weighed about 150 pounds. Maybe she was 5'2", 5'3", and she wanted to lose weight. So she goes across the street. This is a really fascinating story because it's really talk about what you can do to support your body when you take the sugar out. So she went across the street. All she wanted to do was she went to a pharmacy. that she lived nearby, and she spoke to a chiropractor who was working there. And she says, I am on 13 medications. What can I do to lose weight? These are my medications. What can I take? She just wanted to take a pill to lose the weight. I mean, who can blame her? We all feel unhappy and we just look miserable or feel miserable and we want to lose the weight. I can truly understand that. Well, she got lucky that day. This is what happened. I have an itch right here. What she did, or the pharmacist told her, and he'd already been on his healing journey, he'd already been on a keto diet and had his healing story. He said, trust me, go on a keto diet. So, what I am telling you here today, and what she did, and the information that she got, she no longer has symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. She no longer has any symptoms of Parkinson's disease, none. And she went to specialists who said she has that. She went to many specialists. She lives a keto diet lifestyle. She's lost all her weight. She exercises and she now stays active and is fit. And so that is the power of taking sugar out of your body. It is not about eating low calorie. It is about getting nutrients for our bodies so the brain, your skin, your heart, your kidneys, your joints can all function the way they were designed. Your heart with sugar is inflaming the linings of the arteries, increasing stroke and heart attack risk, just like she had. And the kidneys, high sugar diet leads to prediabetes and diabetes, which is the main cause of kidney failure. That's why Dr. Jason Fung chooses to have his clients reduce diabetes and fast so that they don't have kidney failure. And that's his goal in life. And that's why he created the OMAD, because the more diabetic you are, then the more you need to fast. And so that's what he decided. That's what he designed, and that's how he works with his business. And then your joints, and it's even your nerves. High carbs create inflammatory cytokines into your bloodstream and increases risk for so many different conditions in your body and arthritis and neuropathy. And then, I've run permeability tests and I've run um, tests that are checking for metabolism and total bile acids and liver inflammation, and it comes up bright red. There is so much inflammation when people are eating the standard American diet. All of these things are happening and they're crushing your body. And you just want to think about that, the sugar crush. Too much sugar in your blood is crushing all the nervous system, crushing your nervous system everywhere in the body, creating disease. And so we want to just be aware of what sugar does to our body so that we could learn to say no to the excess sugar. And maybe you're not going to go without it completely, but how can you minimize sugar in your body? How can you create a lifestyle to lower chronically elevated blood sugar? Because diabetes and Alzheimer's, there are lifestyle diseases. And so we want to support these behaviors and try to get them to reduce the insulin levels in our body, to reduce the cause of insulin resistance. Excess sugar leads to insulin resistance, and excess sugar intake, processed foods, creates insulin resistance. In sedentary lifestyle, will lower your risk, will create higher risk for disease in your body as well, because you're not getting movement. Elevated blood sugar and insulin causes excess free radical damage and inflammation throughout your body. I've seen the test as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I run 6 labs to find hidden healing opportunities for my clients so that we can work on reducing what we find and help them get their weight loss by finding their hidden weight loss blocks and correcting their metabolism. This is so important to see that, because sometimes you too need to see it in black and white to know that this is why you feel like crap, because of what you're doing, what's happening to your body. And it's not like you choose to be like this. Excess sugar and processed carbs, we're told to eat that by the food industry and the medical system. They are not trying to get you to stop eating this food. But I am here to let you have this information so that you know what it's doing to your body, and that these excess carbs can lead to a carb sugar addiction, which is the main reason people fail diets. If you were dieting, you may be focused on calories in and calories out, which is what the Weight Watchers system is all about. And they wouldn't still be in business if that worked, because it doesn't. It's a temporary situation where you are temporarily starving yourself, or you're living in a starved condition, like the lady I was telling you about, the case study of the lady who had the Parkinson's disease and the stroke when she was living on a low-calorie diet without getting the fat and the protein because that's what she was told to do. She didn't get health. She did not get healthy. She was not healthy. So things like Ozempic and Weight Watchers will not give you the health that you're looking for. It's going to give you a starvation effect in your body, and you're not going to have the nutrients you need to be healthy, and you're not going to be able to maintain bone and muscle mass. And so you don't want to look at just over cardio exercise, and you don't want to look at a calories in, calories out approach. What can you do in a functional nutrition state or function where you can support your metabolism, correct your hormones, balance your cortisol levels, not keep them too high, which causes weight gain? Because when your cortisol levels are super high in an inflammatory state, you are causing weight regain. You are causing a sluggish metabolism and damaging your thyroid. You're going to have a dysregulation of hunger hormones. And so we want to not have too much sugar because we want to be able to support our metabolism. And I support my clients' metabolism, and eventually their thyroids can get healthy. I recently had my blood work done. My thyroid looks good. I never really did anything other than support my metabolism and eat to be healthy. I do take iodine, but that's something that I help my clients with. I don't um, prescribe iodine for any specific person. I help my clients get the right nutrition for their body and give them information to make that decision as to where they are and what they need to do for their bodies. And so that's something that I always do as a practitioner with my clients is I dial in what they need specifically for where they are in their lifestyle so that they get the results that they're looking for. And it's all customized depending on where they are and what they need to do and what their health condition is and what their symptoms are. So as FDNs, what we do is we support the whole body. We don't treat any symptoms. And so this is how I help my clients. I help them eliminate refined sugars and processed carbs to minimize the insulin surge in their body so that they can control their appetite and reduce their sugar consumption, reduce their grain consumption, so that they can reduce the cravings in their body and manage their appetite and reset their metabolism. And when you add in the power of fat and protein to satiate your appetite, that empowers us to make better choices long term because we will be less hungry and we'll start to be able to hear the noises in our body. And if we take out the foods we're sensitive to, every one of my clients get an MRT food sensitivity test. When you take out the foods that you are sensitive to, you can start hearing what's happening more in your body. I had a client that recently went to a dinner party and she and hoped to have a keto meal, but she didn't get a keto meal. And what the meal that she did get had some barley in it. And the problem was that that made her so sick. And now she knows that, you know what, I just need to say no. When that food I know is not going to help my body, I'm not going to eat it anymore. And sometimes we have to go through something that makes us feel uncomfortable after we've taken it all out. We can then listen to what's happening in our body. And when we know what's happening in our body, we can correct what's our health condition more readily. And there's a lot of different things that people go through and learn in a lifestyle. And it's not something that's done in a day or even in 6 months. It could take a year or two to get this totally tuned in. I did not do it in a day. I spent the last 8 years dialing it in my lifestyle without sugar so that I could be healthy and where I am today at 100 pounds down. And everybody can do this. And it just takes dedication to know what you're doing and to get the right roadmap to know where you're going and what you need to do. So you want to eat a meal higher in fat and protein for slow energy throughout the day without the energy crashes. And you don't need to eat as often. Sometimes I only eat 2 meals a day because I don't need to eat that much more than that. Sometimes I'll eat one big meal or maybe two smaller meals. It kind of just depends. Um, but that way you don't need a sugar fix and you'll have lower cravings and lower hunger and less disease risk for your body. So we just want to make sure that we are eating foods to help balance our moods, balance our stress, and manage our hormones so that we don't raise insulin. So that's the goal. And this recipe here again is the pistachio loaf and some keto cookies because this is not about restriction. This is about finding foods that we could eat so that we can feel good in our body and so that we don't have to live without. We're not trying to live a restricted lifestyle. We get to choose what we want to eat so we have better health for our body. And so we take advantage of some keto foods when we want to or not. Some people choose to go straight to carnivore. It's up to you. It depends on your gut health, where you are in your healing journey as to what you need to do for your body. And that's part about dialing it in. And when I first started my low carb lifestyle journey. I used keto foods. I was always trying to make fudge. I finally perfected the fudge recipe that I made. And I even started making some cacao bars. So this first one's here, the white chocolate almond bars made of cacao butter and sliced almonds. And I flavor that up with some sweetener and some cacao nibs. And that's pretty good. And it's a good fat. So sometimes in the beginning, what we need to do is we need to have an oil change. When we give ourselves an oil change and get the right fat for our body, we can absorb more nutrients and we get a better healing effect. It also takes 2.5 years to purge the omega-6 fats out of your cellular system and bring in the good natural fats that we need for our body to work better. Because if your body is based with vegetable oils and omega-6 oils, you're going to have stiffer arteries and you're not going to have a good cellular system. So we want the right fats. We want to replace the fats with good healthy keto fat snacks in the beginning. We might need more fat in the beginning, and then as you get going further, you may need less fat. And then at the same time, it could be that you need to do more of a Mediterranean style diet to get started rather than a full fat coconut style keto diet. So it's kind of up to you where you need to be, and each person is unique and different. But the goal is to just be bulletproof. And I use that term because when I started my keto diet, I started a bulletproof plan, which was using bulletproof coffee with MCT and butter at the time mixed into coffee, which helped me get the right fat that I needed to tune my brain on and to jumpstart my ketone production so that I had energy for my brain. And that's what I needed to do when I got started. That's what helped me lose 20 pounds right off the bat. And you can too. I've got a client that's just starting and she's already down 5 pounds. And so one of the things that I've been doing over the years is going hiking. And I started hiking the Grand Canyon, and I call this my fat to fabulous and hiking, fat to fabulous. But I've been hiking more over the last 10 years. It's become my passion. And I started walking down the Grand Canyon and the Bright Angel Trail all the way down to the river to Phantom Ranch. And I've done that a couple of times now. And the very first time I had excruciating knee pain, and it was horrible, but I wanted to be there and I wanted to get down to the ranch by 4 o'clock. It from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it took us all day to get there because I had to hobble down because my knee was not happy with me. But I made it. Walking up wasn't a problem at all. It was just that downhill movement that was hard on my knee at the time. And that was one of the things that I'd been working on over time to repair. And I've had great luck in repairing my knee and my joints over time, and that is something that you can also do, is to really look at getting the movement, but getting the nutrients you need and taking the sugar out and letting your body heal so that you can have better mobility. So you can go from sore knees to pain-free with a diet and lifestyle management, with intermittent fasting and high fat for better health. It really does work. And this is my friend Pia. One of the first times she's right here. This is Pia, and she also had sore knees, and she went down with me in 2020. And I'd already lost some of my weight in 2020. I think I was down to 150, 145 pounds approximately. Anyways, Pia was also overweight, and she had excruciating knee pain. This is Pia now. She did OMAD. She followed Dr. Jason Fung, called me up one day and said, "Oh my God, Lori, I've just lost 40 pounds." I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm doing OMAD." And it just worked really well for her. It doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for her. And she just had bulletproof coffee in the morning. And she had her OMAD meal when she came home. And I don't think she did it every day of the week, but that is the way she lost 50 pounds. No more knee pain. She texts me and she's in Sweden and she said, "I'm hiking and I don't have any knee pain." So you can do this too. Walking for weight loss is like magic for weight loss. We can all do this. We're not special. We just did it. And she was just so excited to learn about bulletproof coffee at the time I took her down to the Grand Canyon. She says that's when she got inspired, when she could see that I had all the changes and she was able to do that as well. So hanging out with me, you're going to get results. All right. So be a fat burner for aging beautifully and adventurously and health freedom. So I celebrated turning 60 in 2023 on a rim to rim Grand Canyon hike for 24 miles. Now I knew I could do that hike because the year before I did 17 miles during a heat wave and I felt amazing with no pain in my body. So just know that you can create an adventure for yourself and achieve it. You don't have to do what I do. I like hiking. I like getting outside in nature. I have I didn't used to hike that much. I had asthma. I didn't always feel well. I could not run half marathons. I didn't start running a half marathon until 2020 when I had better health, when I was down to 145 pounds, 148 pounds, my lowest at that time, which I thought was a good place to be. I didn't know I would still lose more weight. You don't really know where you are. You just get into a lifestyle and start making the changes so you can feel better in your body. And so you want to think about too is what's your ultimate goal for yourself, for your health? Mine is just to keep moving, not being on, I'm not on any medications at 61, none. I never will be. I don't need them because I use food as information for my body. I practice epigenetics. I move, I keep moving. I get anywhere from 10 to 20,000 steps a day just by keeping myself busy, but I have energy. I have energy because I have a trace of ketones in my blood all the time because I am on a low carb diet and I eat plenty of fat and protein, and that keeps me moving. And movement is medicine. The more you move, the more you activate your white fat to beige fat to brown fat. And then the more protein you get, the more muscle you will build and the more you will lose the weight. One of my clients was she called me up one day. We got her dialed in. She only eats OMAD, but she's 80. And so she wasn't getting enough protein at one meal a day. And so, and she also wasn't sleeping as well as she should. Staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So when you don't sleep enough and don't get to bed sooner, you may not lose weight because you're staying up too late and you're not getting the IGF to come in so that you can get fat loss at night. So one of the things that she did was on my advice was we started her. I tried to get her to eat lunch. She isn't going to eat lunch. So what we started to do was get the perfect aminos, and she started taking the perfect aminos twice a day. I don't remember how long it took, but she mentioned or called me up or one of our sessions. She said, Lori, I've gained 5 pounds. And I'm like, oh my God, you gained 5 pounds? She goes, yes, but I'm skinnier. I've lost weight in my arms and my clothes are looser. So she couldn't lose weight until she built more muscle. And at 80, we need more muscle. We need more muscle at 60. When your muscle is your basal metabolic rate, that is your currency for weight loss. The more muscle you maintain, the more muscle you have, the more weight loss you will lose. And so that's the goal that I have for my 60s is to fine tune the rest of my weight loss and to get that muscle to be able to stay more slender so that I don't have inflammatory fat and I could tighten up my skin and feel good about myself. And so that's what I am doing for myself. So that's my ultimate goal. So think about what your ultimate goal is for yourself and what you can do and what you might want to do. Like, again, you don't have to do a half marathon like I do. I happen to enjoy them. It was fun running through Disneyland. I enjoyed it. I had sore knees after that because of hiking the Grand Canyon. I guess I have to repair my knees. And so I've got a plan for that. Bring in the right supplements, get the right herbal anti-inflammatories, bring in some hyaluronic acid, bring in some extra fish oil, and work on supporting my joints so that I can stay healthy as I get older, because I'm not going to live on anything like ibuprofen for my pain. I'm going to stop my pain and I'm going to correct my health and stay mobile. And so those are all the things that I also help my clients with as I'm working with them. They're also getting um, supplemental protocols ongoing as they need it, and information and support that they need when they need it. So I don't always know what my clients need till I hear what they need. And so that's what's so powerful about working with someone who understands, who has the lived experience as well as the education for functional health, because I do practice epigenetics, and that is a powerful process for reversing obesity and diabetes and all the diseases in your body. And then epigenetics means it is turning off the disease causing genes in your body. So you have a DNA in your body, but you do not have to express them. You can do that. You can suppress DNA the DNA process in your body. So like I have diabetes that runs in my body, in my family. It runs in the human race, but it is very deep in my body, in my family gene. My grandmother was always overweight when people were always slender. So she was more overweight. We have obesity. My sister died from obesity. My dad died from obesity, kidney disease, and heart disease and kidney failure. And this is a real thing. I reversed mine. I practice epigenetics with this lifestyle that I call aging beautifully and adventurously for health freedom, to never be on any drugs because I don't need them. Because if you take painkillers, you are masking a symptom. When your body is trying to talk to you, you need to listen and change it, not be on medicine and suppress the reason why you might want to make the change. Because if you have neuropathy and you're taking pain and you're just avoiding the issue is too much sugar that's crushing your nervous system, and that pain is never going away until they take that foot off or they have to amputate. And so that's very real. And it's a very scary place. My dad died without legs and with kidney failure. So this is one of the reasons why I am passionate about this, because I knew what he went through. I didn't choose to go through it. I got lucky and found my solution. I'm a voracious reader. I love studying functional health and nutrition. My mom started me on Atkins back when I was a kid because I was overweight back then. So I've had the bit of a jump start, and that I understand exactly what you need to do to reverse obesity and get the disease-causing genes turned off in your body. And that means no sugar is required for that, to get out and have fun. You don't require sugar to have a good day. This is a restaurant I went to in Sedona when I went on a retreat with my client. We had bacon and eggs and just a whole bunch of great food, a cup of coffee by the river. This is the La Berge restaurant on the creek, and it is amazing. Like, if I go out to eat, I'm always looking for atmosphere like this. When you get atmosphere, you have an amazing situation where you can just feel good and enjoy your situation and enjoy who you're with. Friends are necessary, family is necessary, and then being with like-minded individuals who are on the same lifestyle that you are, who are the same tribe as you are, who are going to support you, not knock you down, because you want to just be having a great lifestyle. So you might want to be fixing most of your home meals at home. When I go out on a trip, I fix food in advance. I might cook it up and take it with me, or I will pick up rotisserie chicken when I'm out. I will eat at a restaurant that's got bacon and eggs and steak and just feel good about what I am doing. And so you can make this lifestyle fun and turn it into a lifestyle to look forward to. What could you do to look forward to something when you go out? You just have to make different decisions. And it is something that I help all my clients work with lifestyle management. So this is your aging beautiful and adventurously for health as well. This is what I do for myself. It's not a diet. Diets are something that are temporary. If you're on a diet, what you are doing is you're telling yourself that I'm going to lose 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds. And then all of a sudden you start eating the wheat and the sugar again, and you get re-addicted to those processed foods, and you gain all the fat back. That is the part that I struggled with my whole life until I hit my 50s. And then I had to this day, I have triggers that might set off a sugar craving, but I try to support myself with not eating the foods that cause that. I don't even really crave ice cream anymore. Um, and so it's really interesting because that's one of my food triggers is ice cream. But it's like, even if I eat the keto ice cream, it really doesn't do much for me. And I'm just like, I don't really crave it anymore. But we want to be able to not have hunger. We want to have a lifestyle that we design where we're without hunger, we have natural weight loss, we're re-energized, we're pain-free living, reverse aging, and reversal of chronic disease and symptom-free. That's what I call aging beautifully and adventurously. And it isn't that you're going to be where I am at now. You're starting your journey where you are, and you start with 2 to 5 pounds, and you start with reversing leptin resistance and insulin resistance and reversing your processed food consumption. And if you can't do it without going cold turkey, you might need to go cold turkey, or you may just need to get your carbs under 100. Sometimes it's starting with getting your carbs under 100. It could be that you just don't want to eat processed food. Maybe you need to eat gluten-free. Maybe you need a food sensitivity test to find out exactly what you're sensitive to, so we can fine-tune exactly what you need to do. That's what I'd support my clients with. So health is your wealth for 2024. And I'm still kind of in shock that I'm still down 100 pounds. I'll look at my body and I'm like, It's slender. It's hard to believe that I'm actually slender. And can I actually lose more weight and fine tune it even more? I'm working on that. I want to build muscle and see where all this all goes because it's exciting. And the more that I could do for myself, the more I can teach and educate others to do as well as a practitioner. And so this lived experience is really practical for everybody I work with because I will inspire and motivate you and give you the accountability you need to make the result, to make the lifestyle changes you want. And so you might need support in the beginning because DIY lifestyle change is really hard if you don't know what you're doing. And so I just want to bring it back to, do you remember all the things in the beginning of this workshop that we talked about that you wanted for yourself in 2024? Feeling good about yourself, making more money, more love and intimacy. That's something I'm focused on is I want to start dating and having a new relationship because I'm divorced in my 6 days, going on vacation, losing weight so that you can feel comfortable in your body again, so you can look in the mirror and feel confident, so that you can feel good about what you're doing and that you can see those mini wins. Those are important, that we go into our closet and wear those clothes that have been staring at us for years, that have been too small, and we can go shopping in our closet. One of my clients told me, she goes, I just want to get the clothes out of my closet and wear them again. She didn't want new clothes. And I did that too. It's so excited to get into your closet and wear the clothes that are there that you've been looking at and you haven't been able to wear. And this past year, I've had to throw things out and go shopping. I haven't never had to really go shopping. I'd pick a few things up here and there, some stretch pants or whatever for exercising, but I never really had to go shopping to buy new clothes. Well, I finally had to. 100 pounds down, I needed new clothes. And so this is living life as an adventure. You get to do those things. Remember everything you want. Write it all down. What do you want for 2024? I am here to help hold you accountable, help inspire and motivate you so you can get what you want. Again, here is my pistachio loaf. Isn't it amazing? Let me know if you want that recipe. Just DM me or email me. So I'd like to invite you. I have a New Body, New Life intensive. It's a 55% off to new clients, and it's a 60-minute call for $99 to help you create a roadmap for health and weight loss, to get you started on your own and to find out what's going on in your body and to help guide you and create that roadmap for you so that you can get started and jumpstart your health and weight loss by yourself, if that's what you want, or you could ask me to help you implement it. So you can have all of what you want because you deserve to be happy and feel great. And so I want to give you that foundation to have all of that. And so if this is something that you're interested in, just let me know, because that's the first way and the cheapest way to work with me and to get you started. And also, I'd like to invite you to lose 2 to 5 pounds in the next 4 weeks to reduce the belly fat and start feeling slender. How would you like that? Tonight's or this workshop special, I am offering a monthly subscription for $199 a month. And together we will jumpstart your weight loss so you could start losing that belly fat and start feeling slender and start getting 2 to 5 pounds of weight loss. It could be faster, it could be slow, depending on you and how many carbohydrates you reduce. If you reduce it to under 100, it's not going to be as quick. If you reduce it to under 50, it'll be faster. My new client that I just onboarded last week, she's already down 5 pounds as of last Friday. And by the time I talk to her tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised she's down 10. She's on fire. She's got this. She's reading the Wheat Belly. She's just like so excited. And she just, she says, I needed to go to like a fat farm. I needed to send myself somewhere to lose this weight because I can't do it at home. But you know what? She found me, and she was a referral. And she is so excited to be working with me, and I'm so excited to be working with her because she deserves to lose the weight. We all deserve to lose the weight and feel great in our bodies, and we can have that. And so I am actually got a very powerful program where you get together with me for 30 days, 30 minutes a week, or we could do 3 weeks at 45 minutes. And this is with cell FaceTime calls. If you want to do a Zoom call, that is something that we could probably do. You get a health intake and a 1-hour intake session to start everything off, and 20% off full scripts while you're working with me. So, and this is my practitioner supplement account, and you get protocols ongoing as needed. And every time we get together, I'm going to find out what's going well. What do you need to work on? What do you need support with? Is it just, what's going on with the diet? Do you need recipes? Do you just need my inspiration, my motivation, my enthusiasm, my guidance, whatever you need. I am going to meet you where you're at and bring you forward to where you want to go. And we can get a lot done in 30-minute calls, believe it or not. And it's, because also you give a whole week to make new action plans. Every week I'm going to ask you, what is your action plan for this week? And you get that accountability. Don't mistake accountability as something that doesn't work. Accountability is massive. When you get accountability and I'm here, a phone call away or text away, you will get results and I will help you. And that's how you're going to get the health rebuilt and get that weight loss you're looking for. And so that's it. And thank you. It's time you got slender forever. You can do this. I lost 100 pounds. I know you can do it. You can get your life back, reverse age your body, get longevity, and you can turn off the disease-causing genes in your body just like I did and just like my client Mark did when he reversed his diabetes. So I know you can do it too. Just the lighting here is not as good as it could be. So thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions after listening to this, just get a hold of me at loribaloo@gmail.com or through my website at Lori Baloo. And I also have a new belly fat buster mini course that you can get a hold of. Just let me know if you're interested in that. It's free, and I hope that it can also help you get the results that you're looking for so that you can get on a lifestyle that works for you, so you can start doing everything that you want to do. You can do this. I know you can. Thanks for joining me.